Very cool. We are with Nicole Stone, aquatics manager from Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
Awesome. We'll take everybody through your aquatics journey and tell them how it led you to your role as an aquatics manager today.
Yeah, it was a bit of an accident, honestly. It was not the initial plan. So I started out as just a summer hire lifeguard on the military base because that's where I lived. And that was in 2008 when I was graduating high school. And then I would come back every summer while I was working on my bachelor's degree. And then I got the opportunity within that time frame to get certified to teach swim lessons and lifeguards and all the things. And I ended up really having a knack for it. I loved it. And then I ended up taking a full-time position as a lead lifeguard. And then from there, I was just hungry for everything aquatics because I loved it. And then it was just kind of funny because I kind of developed a passion for it. And then I ended up that bachelor's in biology I just got doesn't really matter because I'm just going to stay in aquatics. So
That's awesome. So what makes you smile? Why? Is it the kids on the pool deck? Is it teaching? Is it managing? Is it leading? What is that thing that makes you smile about this?
yeah, I think when it first started, it was seeing all the little kids I was teaching how to swim and seeing the aha moments or like the spark. Now that I've progressed and got into management and learned a little more about that, I truly appreciate when I can see kind of like the spark or like the excitement that I had coming up in my staff. So I would say now more so than ever, it's more mentoring, even if I don't think those lifeguards or instructors are going to stay with me. It's just kind of being able to look at them and see a little bit of like what I experienced and their experiences. So I'm like, I loved that sparked the excitement. So, I think the mentorship probably more so now. But when I first started, it was definitely like the little kids. Oh, there's the lifeguard. Oh, that's Coach Nikki, and
Yeah. Yeah.
see you at Walmart.
Isn't that funny? The thing that motivates you today isn't necessarily the thing from yesterday, but it's still that passion for the
Yes.
industry. Definitely felt the same. Take us through this is unique here with Nicole because you are simultaneously both the aquatics manager and you also have a competitive coaching experience currently.
Yes.
We often, as coming from competitive swimming side, we talk about what we call the gap, the hidden cliff between learn to swim and what we call traditional competitive swim team. That the more we've been in this sport, and we've been in this sport our entire lives, the more that gap seems to increase, not decrease, because, of the commitment is it too much, too fast, too soon? All of those things. Take us through, how are you guys at your facility guiding folks, families, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds from learn to swim into competitive swimming? Take us through that journey.
Yeah. So that's actually a big thing for us where we're at in Missouri because we don't have a club system there. I coach for Waynesville High School, and me getting that job kind of was an accident as well. I guess I'm just like a walking accident when it comes to aquatics. But yeah, so what we saw at the beginning, like whenever I started building our swim program, because I ended up building that from the ground up like 5 years ago, 6 years now.
Okay.
We didn't really have an aquatics program as far as like swim lessons. Like we housed like military training or whatever, the soldiers needed. And we always wanted to do stuff for families, but the most that we did was just rec swim nights. So when we saw that gap initially just in swim lessons, obviously for the water safety aspect of it, I built that up. Waynesville was trying to have a competitive swim team. There was parents that were advocating for it, but there's really no club system unless you drive 30, 40 minutes away either direction where we're at. So when Waynesville turned their swim program over to me to coach, I immediately noticed that there were kids trying out for swim team that had zero swim background. Or there were kids that were like, well, I almost didn't come try out because I didn't have swim lessons. You don't necessarily have that. So I approach our swim team very much like, if you don't know, I'm going to stick you in lane 1. That's where my beginner swimmers are. I can get you where to go because I approach it from an instructor standpoint.
That's amazing. I mean, you built it out of necessity, but you also built it in mind with the just foundational understanding that this is the problem, that
Yes.
you have to make sure that you can't expect an 8-year-old to walk in and know the 4 strokes
Yes.
and be able to swim 100 IM.
Yes.
That's good and that's wonderful and maybe a little bit relieving when that happens. But that's not every swimmer and that's not most swimmers.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, and especially in us because we have a rotating community being in the military. So when I get a kid, even for swim lessons or swim team, I may have them for 1 year, I may have them for 2 years. So I can't really approach coaching a swim team like in the high school competitive level, like other coaches who have been coaching for a long time. I notice I'm very different in the way I approach that coaching because I really can't plan 4 years, like, oh, in 4 years, I'm taking this kid to state and all the things. I may not have them. So I kind of approach it like, while I have you, I'm going to try to maximize and get everything I can out of you. But also, when you leave here, the hope is that you loved it so much here that whatever school you end up transferring to, wherever that may be overseas in the States, that you can try out for the team and you'll be set up for success to hopefully make that team. And that's just kind of the way I look at it as far as like the future aspect of it. I can't really prepare like other coaches do, like, "Oh, this kid's going to go to state in 4 years." I hope so.
Right.
It may not be with
It may
me.
be an A state, but maybe not Missouri. That's super cool. It's, you have this level of intentionality that you have to have because of the circumstance. It's this sort of hold on loosely
Yes.
approach that you're truly setting that kid up for success wherever they might be 2 years,
Yes.
3 years from now.
Yes, and those are the best text messages or phone calls or emails. Students that have graduated or students that have left us and they've gone to other places. I've gotten messages like, "Hey, coach, I just want to let you know I decided to try out for the swim team here. I made it." Or, "Hey, coach, you always tried to get me to swim the 500, and I always fought you on it, but I just medaled in a 500, and that's enough for me." You know, like, and that's what I want. And it's just like we love swimming so much, and just like, you speak about bridging the gap. Like whenever I was only teaching swim lessons, they first started that swim team. The lady that started the swim team, shout out to Amber Earl. She lives in Alabama now, but she kind of pushed me to apply for the coaching position because she was like, "I've seen you teach swim lessons. You're great at it. I don't care if you've never coached competitive. You will be so good at this." I don't know with my aquatics manager schedule. I don't know, but it worked out. But I was always talking to her before I was a coach. "Hey, you're coaching high school right now. I have a girl that's about to be in middle school." Or, "Hey, she's in middle school. She's about to be in high school. We don't have a club team. What are you needing?" And I need a backstroker. So then I integrate that in when they're at that level. So if they're at that level where we're working toward maybe, "Hey, I think you'd be good at competitive swim. If you're going to stay at Waynesville, I highly, think you should try out for the swim team." And then I may introduce them to the coach. But it was always talking to her, "Hey, what do you need?" Now it's kind of like cheating almost because I'm both. So I'm gonna be like, I need a backstroker. Tell my instructors, "Hey, that kid could be good at backstroke. Train him up."
Nice.
So
Nice. That's
that's
cool.
the way we kind of uniquely feed into to like the high school team.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and then we just kind of impact both communities going back and forth.
Yeah, that's awesome. So put on your aquatics manager hat
Okay.
with that comp swim experience,
Yeah.
coaching experience. Let's talk kind of the financial, the business side of competitive swimming. What's the biggest financial or pricing structural challenge you face? And what's something, if you could put your finger on it and go, man, that would be our aha moment. That would get 50 more kids in the program. That would help drive more revenue so we could serve more kids. What's that challenge and what might that thing be?
Yeah, I think for us, obviously working for the Army, we have restrictions on who and what we can do as far as with our money. Obviously, everything has to have approval. Everybody knows that it's the government. But I think for us, the biggest gap that I'm really trying to fill is, how do we get our pool into this situation where we can host meets or where we can, have a club team. Some of our issue, and it's obviously going to be a big financial, cost, is our pool is not really built or set up for like blocks to be in the deeper end. So we don't have the room for that, or like the diving boards that are used for military training line up right in front of a lane line. So if I was gonna, go to my supervisors or the engineers and say, "Hey, can we shift these over?" It would require breaking concrete and rebuilding a whole lifeguard, or not lifeguard, but like diving board tower. Like it's like a whole thing. And I think like if we could get over that hurdle, like that financial hurdle, because obviously breaking concrete, it's a lot of money to do that and then rebuild everything. If we didn't have to worry about that major renovation and we could host meets and have more competitive options for people, I think that would really like blow the doors wide open for us as far as programming
Okay,
on
interesting.
the
Yeah.
industry side.
So kind of marrying, aside from the overhaul of a
Yeah.
renovation, something that can really marry the tactical friction points that you have on the
Yes.
pool deck with a framework, a curriculum that's something that might
Yes.
maybe could introduce that competition.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more unorthodox than you thought
Yeah.
with maybe it's a push start
Yes.
or those things, but having something like that to bring it in,
Yes.
unless somebody wants to go ahead and grant $20 million
Yeah.
for a new
Yeah.
facility, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, that's I think that would be the biggest thing for us because we offer swim lessons. We have a great swim lesson program there. My instructors are fantastic. We have the lifeguard classes that we can offer. So we have all the other stuff. It's just the community has really said, like, hey, my kid really loves swimming. It seems like they really love being in the water, but, maybe they're past that point of swim lessons, which we try to push those kids. Obviously, if we're doing one-on-one instruction and we see, like, hey, this kid could actually probably compete, we give them what's available in our area, but it's just far out. Like, they don't have the time or the resources to be driving an hour every night to go to a club situation. And it also depends on how serious they want their kid in that, right? So if we could offer something like that local, just from a manager's side, like looking at what the community wants, especially in the last few years, that has really been something that we've been asked a lot about. And we're like, we're trying. I promise we're trying. We're just trying to be creative about it and see what we can do. Like that may not look like hosting meets at first. That may be, hey, we're offering instruction in a competitive swim format instead of like swim lesson format. So it might be a little bit of crawl, walk,
Uh,
run.
I'm hearing maybe swim meets reimagined in a way.
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
get creative. So
yes.
I love that.
And I'm an idea fairy, so if I can make it work, we'll try to make it work.
Exactly, exactly. We'll call awesome. Nicole, where can folks find you guys on social media?
Yeah, so we actually have our Fort Leonard Wood MWR page on Facebook. That's probably the biggest thing where we push information about any of the programs on the base. As far as the swim team, we do have our own Instagram and we do have Facebook. So it's WHS Swim. So we're Waynesville High School in Missouri, and we post stuff about meets and our schedule and just like great things the kids are doing. So
Amazing.
yeah,
Very
so
cool. Nicole, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
awesome. Thank you.
All right. See ya.